Alright guys, this is Jacob from Wager Me This, and today I want to talk about something, and I want to run two strategies against each other because there's a narrative out there that the only way to win at craps is by playing by the house edge, by playing only the minimum house edge bets, which basically from all the great craps players out there, the people from these companies that teach people how to throw and stuff, they say there's only one way to play craps correctly, and that's pass and come plus max odds. All right, that's what they say. All right, now sometimes they don't do max odds, but they say, and then shoot the dice, be able to shoot the dice. Okay, in my opinion, that's absolutely incorrect. That's absolutely wrong. Right, and I'm going to do a series of videos where I play that 3-point Molly style against a bunch of other strategies, and I'm sure it'll beat some of them, and it won't beat some of them. What I'm getting at is that that's not the only way to play craps out there. It's an effective, it's a proven way to play, so I'm not saying it's not, but it's not the most effective way to play in my opinion. All right, so what I'm going to do here is this is going to be the 3-point Molly. I'm going to put it back here where it lands, and then this is going to be, I'm going to play 88 to 22. By that, what I mean is 88 inside, drop it down to 22 after one hit, and then just go from there. All right. It doesn't matter if the increments are the same or anything like that. That doesn't really matter. We're using the same bankroll, and I'm gonna run through 10 shooters. All right. Doing exactly that, and whoever comes out with more money at the end, you know. All right, so here we go. Let's get some dice. All right, shooter number one. So we're gonna get our 88 out there. So that, what 88 is 4 units on all the inside numbers. Need some whites. Yep. And the reason I do 4 units is because any hit allows you to drop down to 22 inside, and you'll be free and clear. All right? No, buddy, I'm not. All right, so over here, we're playing like at a $10 table. We're going to do pass line. All right, the 88 inside guy is never shooting the dice. Not a big deal. He doesn't have to. He can. It costs a little more money. All right, and I'm going to shoot the set that they suggest, which is the 4-4-2-2, the hard way set. All right, here we go. Coming out. We got a 6, 4-2-6. 6 is the point. This player's going to throw a come bet in. They're going to put
whenever you win, I'll
50 in odds here on the 6.
Whenever you win, I'll twist this roll up.
Okay, buddy. Bubby, you can't do that in here while I'm making a video, man.
Mom?
People are trying to do stuff.
Well, my brother's sleeping out there.
And we got a 10. 6-4-10. Can travel. You're only going to be able to put 30 in odds on the 10. 3-4-5 table. $10 come bet.
Yeah.
Here we go. A yellow. All right. Ace, ace.
Okay, wherever you're going to walk on both
and a 9. Okay. It's going to be 40 in odds on the 9. That's going to pay 28. This player's going to regress all the way down to the 22. Oh, I said a $10 table. In this strategy, it can't be. It's got to be a $5 table. So, if that bothers people, I'm sorry. I don't know that matters that much. I can just regress it down to 44. If people, that's what they would like, I can do that. But this is what I was trying to show. All right. So here we go. And we got an 11. Nobody has an 11. And the reason I'm doing strategy like this against this ultimate way to play craps is because that narrative, 5-5-10, that narrative is so incorrect that it's starting to bother me a little bit by the way it's being promoted now. Now that there's other information out there for craps players, it seems like they're doubling down on this narrative and almost like bashing other craps players that are trying to show different ways to play. And I'm highly against what they're doing.
Daddy, when
What?
you're doing you pop some bubble wrap.
All right, so there's a 7 out. So that was a pretty good roll. There was like 10 rolls there. All right, not a terrible roll. All right, so after the first roll, one player has made a little money and one player has lost a little money. Imagine that. And the reason being is that 3-point molly, it takes too long to win. You have to have too good of a roll for it to be a winner. Unless you're just back-to-back in numbers, and that's what them elite dice controllers, they can do those things. All right, so it's legitimate for them. But for everybody that's not an elite dice controller, that it's not for them. It isn't. And the truth is it's not the only way to win. There's lots of other ways to win at craps. But it's getting portrayed like it is the only way to win. But it's not. And it's absolutely not. There's a yo. Now, is it a relatively safe way? Yeah, it's a pretty safe way to play because you're going to hit enough times that it evens out a lot. And you're basically hoping for a good roll is what it is when you play that, when you play the 3-point volley style. You're ace, that's a loser. You're hoping for a good roll. And not necessarily a long roll, but just a good roll. You can have a short roll if it repeats numbers a bunch of times. You know, it could roll 6 times, but if it had 3 repeaters in it, you did pretty good. All right, there's the 8, 6, 2, 8. It's going to travel here. This is going to win 28. Rack it up. I'm going to drop down. All right, here we go. Oh, there's supposed to be a come bet out there. Sorry, I didn't get that come bet out there. That's supposed to be there, so they would have traveled to the 9. It's going to get 40 in odds. And that's going to win $7. over here. All right. And you could press on this. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna collect. And the 6. All right, hard 6. Got a winner. Frontline winner. We'll pay this one first, $7. This back here is gonna win 60 in the back, 10 in the front. Rack that all up. Okay, on the come out, we're gonna be off.
Daddy.
What, son? I love you. All right, here we go. 8. Okay. So most people don't play their odds on, so I'm not gonna have them on, but that did pay the 10. Point's gonna be 8. Here we go. Oh, we need a come bet. Three, 1, 4. 3, 1, 4. I'm shooting pretty good.
Yeah, I did. Pretty good.
Okay, so there's the 3 points. So now this is where this strategy can beat other strategies. If it rolls a bunch of repeaters here, it looks like a great strategy. But there's no protection in it, besides the little bit of combat protection you have when you're building it. At this point now, you're just hoping that you can shoot good enough to roll a 9, a 4, or an 8.
Daddy,
What's up, honey?
today can I go to Walmart?
Sure. And the 7.
Because I'm going to get something
All right, so even after that hit, because the exposure is so high, because you're putting these odds on numbers that are negative probability, you didn't make any money. This player, on the other hand, because they only put their risk out for a very short amount of time, they turn right around and they make a little off each shooter. This isn't like high math or nothing. This is very simple. Here, I'll grab some different dice. This is very simple to understand that the 3-point molly is not the best way to win at craps. It is a way to win at craps, but it's not the best way. 8, 5, 3, 8. Combating her. And you don't have to go 3 points. So let's maybe say this time we only go 2 points. It's not going so good. We'll go 2 points. Right? This player's still going to do the same thing. So if this goes 0.7, this player eats it. 0.7 is terrible for this player. But I'll take that over trying to manufacture multiple hits on numbers. I'll take this any day over this. Oh, 0.7, it happened. All right. So this is where this player eats it. All right. Every style of craps
The player eats it.
has a bad run of dice. There's not a style of craps where there's not a bad run of dice.
And sometimes players have to eat the bad ones.
My son is hilarious. All right, so we're on shot number 4. Shooter number 4.
Shooter number 8.
Card 6.
Everything looks like a woodchuck.
Get 100 in reds here.
Woodchucks. Woodchucks. Woodchuck. 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 Woodchucks. Woodchucks everywhere.
All right, here we go. Now we're trying to get some numbers.
Wait, how does number stick to it? Look.
And we got a 5.
That'll
415. It's going to travel. It's going to get 40 in odds. We're only doing a 2-point molly this time. The person wants to take a little bit of their exposure, limit some exposure. Good idea. All right, this player still doing the exact same thing. No reason to deviate. And we got a 6, point made. Hard 6.
Me. Like a dingy dong loading bomb.
All right. Rack this. All right. Here we go. Off on the come out.
Everything looks like a woodchuck. Woodchuck. Everything looks
Ace,
like
ace.
a woodchuck. Woodchuck. Chuck. Daddy, are there any empty packages?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are
Oh, that was a bad throw.
there any packages that have nothing in them in here?
All right, that's a come out 7. This is going to get returned. This is going to travel here in this pay. All right.
Maybe this box.
I don't know.
I could cut it and we could send stuff out to people with this.
Probably.
Yep, nothing in.
All right, here we go.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
9 points going to 9. 5, 4. Okay. Odds.
The tools.
Remember, this shooter, this bettor over here, he don't have to do anything. He's already made his money for the shooter. Come on, man. I'm trying to make a video. And 9 right back. All right, so this is where the 3-point guy does well. If they can roll repeaters, it's a great strategy. If you can't roll repeaters, you're going to struggle to win. 60 right here. Rack it up. Off on the come out. Here we go. 9, right? So it's going to be a flat bet winner. It's not going to win on the odds.
Probably use this.
Okay.
Probably use the upper.
Here we go. This shooter's going pretty good. Oh, there we go. Right when I said that. 7 out. Gonna pay there. Rack it up. The 3-point guy, he's basically down 60 bucks. And this guy's down 60 bucks. I mean, so it doesn't seem to be that much better. They were reasonably good shots, but they were missing because you only get a couple numbers. All right, 4-4-2-2 set. Hardway set, as they call it. All right, here we go. 8, 6, 2. No, this is a new shooter in it. 50 in odds. 10 come. Here we go. 6, 516. This is going to travel. 50 more nods. This is going to win 28. And it's going to drop down.
Daddy, I'm making the boxes for the dice we're sending out.
Cool.
They can open the boxes.
All right. Another comeback. We're going to go back to the 3-point. Feeling good about himself. He had a pretty good run last one. All right, here we go. 9. Just going to travel. It's going to get 40. Oh, come here. And this is going to win 7. Ace, ace. Here we go. 5, 3, 2, 5. $7 winner. Here we go. 2, 1, 3. $8. All right, we got a frontline winner. Shooting pretty good. So I was a little worried about that people would complain on this video that I didn't shoot good enough, but I'm actually shooting relatively well. Really as good as you could hope for at a table, probably. All right, and we're off on the come out. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And it's not that I have anything against the 3-point molly, guys. I really don't. I think it's a fine strategy on its own. But what I'm running into here, these are all going to be returned, is I'm hearing this narrative coming out that wasn't coming out before about the only way to win is by knowing how to shoot and playing comebacks. And that's the narrative. That's the narrative right now that I'm hearing from these craps gurus, people that people look up to, saying that there's only this one way to win at the game. And it's just not true. There's an 8, a 5, 3, 8. All right, 15 odds. It's just incorrect. There is other ways to win at craps. 7. 5, 2. That was still a pretty good roll. It's going to win there. Again, the 3-point molly didn't really gain any ground. The regression system, it gained a little more money. And it's going to do that every time, mostly because just the mechanics of it. It's built to do that. All right, you're never going to win a ton with it, but you're never going to lose a bunch either. Unless you just happen to get a bunch of 0.7s in a row, it's just not going to lose a bunch of money. Hard 6. 3, 3, 6. Okay. And over here on the 3-point molly, of course you don't have to play max odds. That's not something you have to do. But in the big scheme of things, because of the way it pays, it really doesn't change anything success-wise. All it does is change exposure. So if you're winning on it, you're winning on it. If you're losing on it, you're losing on it. It'll be relative. So it really doesn't change that aspect of it. right, here we go. 4, 4, 8. That's 2 hard ways in a row. That's what this set's supposed to do. So he's got the best 2 numbers he can get. Got 28 coming over here. Getting our exposure off the board, but we are still playing. But we're playing for free.
I'm still making those boxes.
Good job. We're playing for free. Well, they're still playing a strategy and haven't actually made any money yet, but keep adding risk. And that's the thing that bothers me the most about this strategy, is that it has to have a good roll. All right, not a long roll, a good roll. 4, 1, 5. And that's just not always the case. Like sometimes that don't happen. And that's why this is a very common strategy for people that are dice controllers, because they can do these things that most can't, and it makes this strategy quite a bit better. But that's not a reason to say that other people's stuff is not good. And it's not that they're saying it's not good. They're saying it won't work, is what they're saying. It's way past it's not good. Right? Point made. It's all the way to the point now they're saying it will not work. $7 winner. And I'm refuting that. I absolutely think that that's insanity. All right, here we go. We're off on the come out. 10. Points going to 10. 30 in odds. All right, here we go. 4, 2, 4, 2.
Daddy, the box is finished.
Good job. 4.
Like the box?
I love it, man.
Because we can undo the tape and then tape it all back up, and then we can literally play as many dice as we want there. Let's take one. Let's show you how much room there is in there.
Hard 8. It's a good one. Three-point Molly guy's doing good right now. He better not lose. He could get on a little run here. That's one of the other issues I just don't like about this strategy, is that even when you hit and it looks good, if you miss the next roll,
Look how much room.
Good job. Before you get and there's the 7 right there. 6, 1, 7. So you went all the way through all that just to basically break even. So you went through all them risk rolls just to break even. And so he's up $10 right now. $10 after all that, which is actually exceptional. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually an exceptional deal. Where this player's up roughly probably the same. So that's 20. $75, $85. Yeah, basically this player's up like $2 more. So this strategy ain't that much better. And I've had good rolls. I haven't had bad rolls. Good rolls. All right, let's move back to the blue dice. All right, here we go. Pass line. Hard 10. $30 in odds. $10 comeback.
But there's this little hole where they can slip dice out. Daddy, look. I slipped the dice out from that hole. I made that hole for you.
Awesome.
You can slip the dice out if you don't want to send that many dice. You can slip them out.
Hey, here we go.
Or you could just
9.
Or you could just cut the
5, 4, 9.
Or you could just
It's gonna travel. $40, I mean.
Yeah, that hole is
28.
So you can put it right there in your room.
Rack it up.
And some you can put them right now.
All right. Come back. What is this? 325. $40 over here on the odds.
Or Daddy, you could just
$7 over here.
I put my bone thrower in there. The bone thrower.
All right.
Daddy, know what I was making for you? Dice holder.
And the 5 right back. Okay, so that's a good one. Like the repeaters.
Daddy,
Bubba, I am trying to do something.
this will be your dice holder.
Cool.
Slip dice.
All right, so there's the total payout of 70. Replace that. So like right now, if the 3-point guy hits another number, $7 over here. I don't know if I already paid it. If I did, you guys can hammer me. I'm not sure. So if this player throws another number here, they're in good shape. If they don't throw another winner number, then basically they broke even or less, or lost a little. And there's the 7. And that's the issue right there with this strategy, is that you have to throw multiple repeating numbers. And it's hard to do. Even dice controllers have a hard time doing it. If they didn't have a hard time doing it, they knew they could just throw the same numbers over and over, don't you think they would just bet them numbers? All right, so here we go, coming out. All right, 4, 2, 4, 2. But if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, go listen to High Roller Radio on YouTube. Check out High Roller Radio. There's a very famous craps person that comes on there. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the instance I'm referring to of this individual.
I put tape on the bottom so the dice won't fall out.
Good job, son. But this individual gets on there talking about, you know, the only ways to win at craps, and how basically if you're not doing this certain thing, you know, you're just giving up money. I have put a request in to be interviewed on this same channel. Haven't heard nothing back. I need you to move some. All right, here we go. Ace, ace. But that's what I'm talking about. And I'm not just defending myself here, guys. I'm defending all these other guys that are putting out good craps content. That these people that are well respected in the craps world are bashing. And they're only bashing it because it goes against their narrative. Back-to-back aces, that's insane. That's why the bash comes from. It has nothing to do with winning or losing, because essentially the 3-point molly, you could just bet 3 numbers out there from the get and do the same thing. you know, you're talking about a couple bucks difference. There's the 5. $40 in odds, $28. And so that's where my the issue I have with this is coming from. All right, here we go. It's not that they have an opinion on something, it's that they're directly aiming that opinion at other parts of their community. Oh, 7 out. That wasn't a very good roll. This guy still won, and this guy is going to have lost. Alright, so we have 2 more shooters. So let's go through them here. 4-2, 4-2. And I'm sure I'll take some heat for this, because I usually don't directly fight back at something. But I feel like that if I don't directly fight back at this, what's being said, then, you know, basically kind of it kind of takes away from the things that I do on my channel. Oops. Let's go like this, get that one. You know, I feel like it takes away from what I do if I'm not going to defend other strategies besides one strategy, when there's people that have a significant standing in the traps community bashing basically everything else. So that's where I'm coming from on this. Because honestly, the person saying it, I've never met this person. I don't know them. I've definitely, of course, watched their documentary because I'm a craps enthusiast. And I think what they do is amazing. The things that they're able to do as a shooter.
Daddy, here's what we're gonna play.
Justice, I'm trying to do something. Alright, there's 8.
I'm just excited that you're there.
Oh, I love you, man. Alright, here we go.
Here's what we're gonna play.
And the 7. That was a terrible roll, too. It hit up on the green. Just so you know, this guy, when he rolls a terrible roll, he says, "Get lucky." So that ought to indicate who I'm talking about. In the radio show I'm talking about, High Roller Radio. So I actually think this High Roller Radio thing's cool. I really like it. I listen to all of them.
That's all the stuff we have to kill the animation.
Alright, so
this is all the stuff.
I'm going to make this one the last roll. I think I actually forgot to mark one. So here we go, coming out.
I literally shot the dart.
314.
This was so cool. Daddy, this thing shoots rapid.
Right there. Get 30 in odds. And again, you don't have to go full odds, and people are going to say this isn't a legit comparison, but it is, because I'm comparing 2 completely different strategies compared in the way they should be compared by total profit at the end, not as opposed to money for money type thing. Because, you know, if we both started with the same bankroll and we both played the same amount of shooters, we have the same opportunity to make money. All right? One strategy bets one way, one strategy bets another way. And that's all that's happening here. The exact same dice rolls. That was a really good roll. As you saw, them dice died right there, landed right on that 10. I'm very happy with that roll. $5 or $25, get 5 reds. All right, so this is one of the instances that the 3-point can get into too. Look, he has the 4 and the 10, right? The 4 and the 10 have the exact same probability as the 7. The 4 and the 10 together have the same probability of rolling as the 7. So he's at a wash right there. He really needs to hit one of them numbers. If he doesn't hit, I mean, he's at such a disadvantage with that 4 and that 10 against that 7 with all that money on it. I know people are going to say, well, the payout covers that. Well, it does, except for the flat bet. And we got a 9, 6, 3, 9. All right, so the place better. Again, he's made his goal. Get some reds here. He's made his goal of trying to get 1 hit. Again, he made it again. He's going to win $28. And he's going to regress down to 22. So every time this happens, this player can no longer lose on that shooter. And that's what I'm saying, is that there are other ways to play this game that are very consistent, very good, work a lot of the time without having to be able to shoot the dice. You don't have to be able to shoot the dice to play 88 to 22. You don't. I've played like this shooter never shot the dice, even though I'm setting the dice and shooting them every time, but I'm doing that for the 3-point Molly player because that's how they play. Oh, the 10 made it. Good. 5, 5, 10. That's a good roll. Drop a comeback. All right, 4, 2, 4, 2. Here we go. 9. All right, that's good. Right there, that's good. That's an off and on. So all these bets actually pay the same amount. They pay $70 total. And then $7 over here. All right, here we go. That's an off and on situation. That's why I didn't move that. All right. That's good. The Molly guy's trying to make a comeback. I don't want to see anybody lose, guys. You know, I never want to see people lose. So I want them to win. $10. I'm gonna lie. There was one time I wanted to see a guy lose. But it was just because he was playing the don't, but he was literally telling the shooters, come on, man, just 7 out for me. Just 7 out for me. And it was really out of line. And that guy, I actually wanted him to lose. And I know that's not good and that's not a nice thing, but the dude was being a jerk. And he was like people there were his friends. They were like, man, why are you doing that? Yeah, that wasn't a cool situation. And lo and behold, he did lose. He did end up losing a bunch of his money because like 2 or 3 shooters in a row ran pretty hot and kept hitting the points. He was getting all frustrated, but he deserved it. But other than that, I've never, ever had a person that I wanted to lose. All right, here we go. 7, dang it. That was a reasonably good roll. Hit a couple repeater numbers. Not too bad. All right, so, I mean, I don't got to count it up to know which strategy did better because I can look at it and tell, but I will count it up. And this strategy that I did over here, this 44 to 22, a lot of people have done it. It's kind of a skill and luck's main thing. He's a regress player and he does it really well. So if you have any questions or if you really want to get into regression play, he's really your guy. And check his channel out. He's really, really into it and he's really good at it. So 350, 70, 370. So they lost 130 bucks. All right, 500. 600. So this person, there's their buy-in. They made 75, 80, 85. They made $88. You know, 10 shooters, $88. That's not a ton of money, but they didn't lose. And they didn't lose because they used strategy. And that's why they didn't lose. Not because the dice rolled bad or good or anything. The dice rolled relatively well. This was a pretty good table. Most of them rolls were going 8, 9, 10 rolls. The dice didn't roll correct for the 3-point molly because there wasn't a ton of repeater rolls. All right. But because this player is using the idea that I put money out there, hit one time, and then I bet less than I've won, that means that per shooter, they won every time except for one time, I believe. I think there was one shooter they didn't win on, right? Every other shooter they won something on. So that's the idea. What I'm getting at is that there's not just one way to win at craps. And no matter what these guys say that have been doing this for a long, long time, there's more than one way to win. And I've shown a bunch of it. There's a bunch of other people involved in Crap Nation that have showed a bunch of it. There's a bunch of other people that aren't really involved in Craps Nation that have channels that have showed a bunch of it. There's a lot of other ways to win at craps besides playing strictly by house edge. There's a lot of other ways. And so just keep that in mind. And you guys go listen to High Roller Radio. It's actually really good. It doesn't get a ton of views, but it should. It's really good. The interviews are cool. You guys check it out. But you can see what I'm talking about. And you can see why I'm a little bit frustrated with what's being said. I'm sure you guys will understand. So anyways, this is Jacob from Wager Me This. And you guys have a good day. Hope you like the comparison. If you want me to run it again, I will. Just let me know.